PSERS is as defined by the Internal Revenue Service laws, a 401A. It's a defined benefit plan. What that means is there's a formula that determines what people's benefit is. So the formula has changed over the years, has changed recently, but the idea is still there. So that if with so many years of service and a multiplier times your average salary, that's how you determine. I think PSERS is important in many, many different ways. But the most important thing for me as a participant in PSERS is that what the benefit has enabled me to do after dedicating my life to public education in an urban setting, making what I believe were a lot of sacrifices. A lot of sacrifices because I probably could have done better in the private sector. What it enables me to do is to retire with a sense of financial integrity and security. And it's extremely important to every member. I don't believe it could be any more important because as we go through times and PSERS evolves and the crisis of the unfunded, of how much is unfunded in PSERS and how we deal with that, it couldn't be more important time for the annuitants, for the members of PSERS, to have a voice on the Board of Trustees, which is the body that provides oversight. Again, I believe to bring a point of view and to have the organization stay in touch with the reality of the people that they're serving. Since the mission statement talks about serving its members the best that it possibly can, it's important that the board knows in order to meet that goal. The board has to know what the members are really experiencing in their lives. I'm running because I've had the opportunity to observe the board, and I've been extremely disappointed in the person that has the voice of the annuitants, and only because they're quiet. There have been many times when I really wish that I could have stood up in a meeting and said, hold on, you really need to understand what's happening with the membership in this particular issue. And that's not happening. I think what happens sometimes is that people serve on a board long enough that their purpose becomes blurred, and they become more of a member of a board than a voice for the people that are not members of the board but benefit from the system. Approximately 220,000. It's a daunting task if you take it seriously from that standpoint. And that's one of the other things that my goal really is to make myself accessible for members to at least share their opinions and share their ideas, that I might carry those back to the board and be their voice. I would like to try and advocate for better transparency when it comes to PSERS reporting on its operations, in particular, the kinds of fees that they're paying that are associated with the investments and how much of those fees are being taken away. Obviously, the other thing is that we need to maintain the program the best that we can. And I think it's important that we realize that there's a trust. And the trust is, think about someone saying to you, if you do this for 35 years, this is what's going to happen. And then, for whatever reason, it be the stock market, it be the fact that employers got, they sort of got a pass when the stock market was doing extremely well. But if you did that and you put a certain percentage of your salary away for 35 years and now someone says, oh no, I have to break the promise, it's unconscionable to me. And I believe that we must have a voice on this board, and the voice must be loud and be heard. Well, every vote on the board, most of the moves that they make with investments have to be approved by the board. So the board votes on how much to invest, who to invest with, whether the fees are acceptable. So I think if we have a voice there, then that's part of being a watchdog. It's also part of being a watchdog because my intention would be to share all of those observations with at least our membership, if not more than that. Because we would be a voice at the table where the decisions are being made. I don't think there's any better opportunity. Again, you're only one vote, but the fact is if you don't have that voice, you don't have an opportunity for people to hear. And sometimes they need to hear before they can make the best decision. Most people's decisions are only based on the quality of the information that they get. So my role here would be to bring a point of view to the board so that they could see how the annuitants really feel about particular subjects. Recently I observed something that happened. They were discussing the health care premiums. The health options program, which is associated with PSERS, a lot of the annuitants take advantage of that. What they wanted to do was they wanted to increase premiums by 5%. There was actually a conversation where the system has, the health program has a $100 million surplus in the prescription drug area. And what I couldn't understand why there was no conversation at all about our members are on a fixed income. Why would you not entertain using some of the surplus to offset a 5% premium increase? That didn't happen. And if I'm a member of that board, that conversation will happen. I guarantee it, it will happen. I think we need to continue to address the unfunded liability. Now, I believe it was Act 120 that does, in fact, provide more funding to PSERS. The uptick in the market has certainly provided some ability to do that, and certainly the change in benefits. But that's a double-edged sword. When you look at Act 5 and what it did to the change in benefits, it decreases the average benefit by about 18%. Pennsylvania is going to have trouble in the future, just like every other state is having difficulty, in filling positions and finding quality to people who work in the public school system. The benefit itself can help to attract good employees. And if we continue to dilute the benefit, I think it has it's counterproductive when it comes to trying to recruit and maintain the quality of public education throughout the Commonwealth.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they need to improve transparency in reporting. I think the reporting needs to be, shall we say, more honest, and put honest in quotation marks. But the thing that I've seen is that PSERS had come a few years ago. PSERS came under some real serious criticism because of the amounts of fees that investment firms were taking from them. They've tried to cut back on that, but the other thing that I believe they've tried to do is the way they report it. So if I'm paying you 20%, I never talk about the 20% that goes to an investment firm. I only report the net investment, where the investment maybe the return could have been 10 million, but it's only 8 million, but nobody ever hears about what it could have been or what it cost. They just hear about the 8 million. So we just need to be more open and more transparent about that. Because I'm interested, because I'm an active member, because I have an understanding, and I have a voice, and I plan on using it. So if the members want someone who can present their point of view, who's open to hearing from them, then I'm the candidate that they want to elect to this position.